Will somebody please explain what's going on?
It's all right, Space Ranger. It's a code 546.
You mean it's a...
Yes.
And he's a...
Oh, yeah.
Your Majesty.
After making a literal splash for his leading movie star debut, nice guy Tom Hanks would become the king of yuppies 80s slapstick, starring in classics like Big. Tuned-in audiences up to that point knew him primarily from the 2-season ABC sitcom Bosom Buddies. And just as Hanks' obvious talent couldn't be contained to television, it was likewise apparent he wouldn't always be stuck doing just comedies. Philadelphia represented his first foray into drama, leading straight into a Best Actor Oscar win. Most importantly, it gave a harrowing human face to the AIDS epidemic that American society at large had struggled or refused to fully comprehend at that point. During his Oscar acceptance speech, he referenced mentors and peers who were gay and who had influenced his life. In recent years, much of Hanks' acclaim and accolades has been directed at his biopics. Think Captain Phillips, Saving Mr. Banks, and A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood. So with all of that out of the way, let's take a look at the one who's been referred to as America's dad, as we count down our list of the best Tom Hanks movies. Number 10, That Thing You Do. Willie band manager Mr. White helps the small-town band achieve big-time success when they release a Beatles-style pop song in 1964. Pennsylvania band The Wonders become a sensation after their drummer breaks his arm and is replaced by jazz enthusiast Guy Patterson, who injects something a bit different into their music. Starring Tom Everett Scott, Liv Tyler, Jonathan Scheck, and Tom Hanks, who also directed the film. Critics say a light, sweet, and thoroughly entertaining debut for director Tom Hanks, That Thing You Do makes up in charm what it lacks in complexity.
Wolfman, thank you very much. You're a good man, Scott Pell. Give me a call later on the week. We'll do something.
Can't believe this.
The Wonders are in breach of contract.
Sorry. I'm really sorry, Mr. White.
Well, don't worry. No one's going to prison, son. It's a very common tale.
Well, maybe for you, but I was in a band and we still have a hit record.
Yeah, you do. One-hit wonders. It's a very common tale.
My first time in a real recording studio.
You want to hang around for a while? Okay by me. But you're out of the hotel this afternoon. Can't help that. You know, Guy, Horace was right about you. You are the smart one.
Number 9, Saving Private Ryan. Captain John Miller takes his men behind enemy lines to find Private James Ryan, whose 3 brothers have been killed in combat. Surrounded by the brutal realities of war while searching for Ryan, each man embarks upon a personal journey and discovers their own strength to triumph over an uncertain future with honor, decency, and courage. Starring Tom Hanks, Edward Burns, Matt Damon, and directed by Steven Spielberg. Critics say, anchored by another winning performance from Tom Hanks, Steven Spielberg's unflinchingly realistic war film virtually redefines the genre.
I have my orders too, sir. They don't include me abandoning my post.
I understand that, but this changes things.
I don't see that it does, sir.
The Chief of Staff for the United States Army says it does.
Sir, our orders are to hold this bridge at all costs. Now, our planes in the 82nd have taken out every bridge across the Murderette with the exception of 2. One at Boulogne and this one here. We let the Germans take it, we're gonna lose our foothold and have to displace.
Private, your outfit wants to stay. That's one thing. But your party's over here.
Sir, I can't leave until at least reinforcements.
You got 3 minutes to gather your gear.
Sir, what about them? I mean, there's barely hardly enough.
2 of our guys already died trying to find you, all right?
Sir.
That's right.
Number 8, Captain Phillips. In April 2009, the U.S. container ship Maersk, Alabama, sails towards its destination on a day that seems like any other. Suddenly, Somali pirates race toward the vessel, climb aboard, and take everyone hostage. The captain of the ship, Richard Phillips, looks to protect his crew from the hostile invaders and their leader, Muse. The pirates are after millions of dollars, and Phillips must use his wits to make sure everyone survives and returns home safely. Starring Tom Hanks, Catherine Keener, Barkhad Abdi, and directed by Paul Greengrass. Critics say smart, powerfully acted, and incredibly intense, Captain Phillips offers filmgoers a Hollywood biopic done right, and offers Tom Hanks a showcase for yet another brilliant performance.
They're at 1 mile now, Cap. Only 1 mile?
Coalition Warship 237, this is Maersk, Alabama. Coalition Warship 237, Maersk, Alabama. Go, Alabama. Our position is...
We are being approached by 2 pirate skips with a possible mothership following. We require immediate assistance.
We have a crew of 20.
We are preparing our weapons now, but request air support if possible.
Number 7, A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood. Lloyd Vogel is an investigative journalist who receives an assignment to profile Fred Rogers, aka Mr. Rogers. He approaches the interview with skepticism, as he finds it hard to believe that anyone can have such a good nature. For Rogers' empathy, kindness, and decency soon chips away at Vogel's jaded outlook on life, forcing the reporter to reconcile with his own painful past. Starring Tom Hanks, Matthew Rhys, Susan Kalecki Watson, and directed by Marielle Heller. Critics say, much like the beloved TV personality that inspired it, A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood offers a powerfully affecting message about acceptance and understanding.
Holy crap.
Andrea,
Hi, Fred.
such a pleasure to finally see you.
Oh, can I take this for you?
Thank you.
Hello, Mr. Rogers.
Hello. Hello. Hi, Gavin. Hello. I hope you and I can be friends someday. Mr. Vogel. May I call you Jerry?
Yes, sir. You certainly may.
Lord Joanne adored your article, as did I. Andrea, are you feeling better about daycare?
A little. Maybe. What? You're not the only one who talks to Fred.
Number 6, Apollo 13. This Hollywood drama is based on the events of the Apollo 13 lunar mission. Astronauts Jim Lovell, Fred Hayes, and Jack Swigert find everything going according to plan after leaving Earth's orbit. However, when an oxygen tank explodes, the scheduled moon landing is called off. Subsequent tensions within the crew and numerous technical problems threaten both the astronauts' survival and their safe return to Earth. Starring Tom Hanks, Bill Paxton, Kevin Bacon, and directed by Ron Howard. Critics say, in recreating the troubled space mission, Apollo 13 pulls no punches. It's a masterfully told drama from director Ron Howard, bolstered by an ensemble of solid performances.
And then if you could give your oxygen tanks a stir. Roger that. we've got a problem here.
What did you do?
Nothing. I stirred the tanks.
Whoa. Hey.
This is Houston. Say again, please.
Houston, we have a problem.
Number 5, Catch Me If You Can. Frank Abagnale Jr. worked as a doctor, a lawyer, and as a co-pilot for a major airline, all before his 18th birthday. A master of deception, he was also a brilliant forger, whose skill gave him his first real claim to fame at the age of 17. Frank Abagnale Jr. became the most successful bank robber in the history of the United States. FBI agent Carl Hanratty makes it his prime mission to capture Frank and bring him to justice, but Frank is always one step ahead of him. Starring Leonardo DiCaprio, Tom Hanks, Christopher Walken, and directed by Steven Spielberg. Critics say, with help from a strong performance by Leonardo DiCaprio as real-life wonderkin con artist Frank Abagnale, Steven Spielberg crafts a film that's stylish, breezily entertaining, and surprisingly sweet.
I wouldn't lie to you.
Look, you're wearing a wedding ring. You're wearing a wedding ring, Carl. You lied to me about that. Then you lied about that.
You asked me if I had a family. I did, but I don't anymore. Yes. No, there is no problem. We're coming out right now.
Well, that was good. That was good. What did you pay some hotel desk clerk to make that call for you? Is that what you did?
It's Captain Luke. I've got 1 minute to bring you out.
Captain Luke. Ooh, Captain Luke. Well, Carl, I gotta say that sounds pretty official to me, but like I said, I think it's just me and you here. It's me and you, so you're gonna have to catch me.
Frank, you have to trust me on this. These people have been embarrassed, Frank. They're angry. You rob their banks, you steal their money, you live in their country. I told you this was what was going to happen. That there was no other way for it to end. Don't make a mistake.
Number 4, Big. After a wish turns 12-year-old Josh Baskin into a 30-year-old man, he heads to New York City and gets a low-level job at Macmillan Toy Company. A chance encounter with the owner of the company leads to a promotion, testing new toys. Soon, a fellow employee, Susan Lawrence, takes a romantic interest in Josh. However, the pressure of living as an adult begins to overwhelm him, and he longs to return to his simple former life as a boy. Starring Tom Hanks, Elizabeth Perkins, Robert Loggia, and directed by Penn Marshall. Critics say refreshingly sweet and undeniably funny. Big is a showcase for Tom Hanks, who dives into his role and infuses it with charm and surprising poignancy.
Hi.
Hi.
All the same people having all the same discussion. It's like they cloned some party in 1983 and kept spinning it out again and again and again. I loved your ideas on the squeezy doll line.
Thanks.
They're so incisive. It's beluga. Macmillan orders it every year.
Gesundheit.
All right? You okay? You want a glass of water? Need something to drink?
Can I have a milkshake or something?
Number 3, Toy Story 3. With their beloved Andy preparing to leave for college, Woody, Buzz Lightyear, Jessie, and the rest of the toys find themselves headed for the attic, but mistakenly wind up on the curb with the trash. Woody's quick thinking saves the gang, but all but Woody end up being donated to a daycare center. Unfortunately, the uncontrollable kids do not play nice, so Woody and the gang make plans for a great escape. Starring Tom Hanks, Tim Allen, Joan Cusack, and directed by Lee Unkrich. Critics say, definitely blending comedy, adventure, and honest emotion, Toy Story 3 is a rare second sequel that really works.
I can see daylight! We're gonna be okay!
I don't think that's daylight.
Number 2, Toy Story 2. Woody is stolen from his home by toy dealer Al McWiggin, leaving Buzz Lightyear and the rest of the gang to try to rescue him. But when Woody discovers that he's actually a valuable collectible from a once popular television show called Woody's Roundup, and is reunited with his horse Bullseye, Jessie the yodeling cowgirl, and his faithful sidekick, Stinky Pete the prospector, he doesn't want to leave. Starring Tom Hanks, Tim Allen, Joan Cusack, and directed by Ash Brannon, John Lasseter, and Lee Unkrich. Critics say the rare sequel that arguably improves on its predecessor. Toy Story 2 uses inventive storytelling, gorgeous animation, and a talented cast to deliver another rich movie-going experience for all ages.
Wait. What about the gold mine and the cute little critters and the dynamite? It was a great show. I mean, why cancel it?
2 words. Sputnik. Once the astronauts went up, children only wanted to play with space toys.
I know how that feels. But still, my own show. I mean, look at all this stuff.
Didn't you know? Why, you're valuable property.
Oh, I wish the guys could see this. Hey, howdy, hey, that's me. I'm on a yo-yo. Hey, nice teeth. And yet, still a good-looking guy. Oh, it's a bank. Cool. What are you? You push the hat and out come bubbles. Clever. Oh, wow. Hey, what's this thing do? I get it. There's a snake in my boot. Oh, hey, Bullseye. Go long. Go long. Woo!
And before we reveal number 1, here are some honorable mentions. Philadelphia. Fearing it would compromise his career, lawyer Andrew Beckett hides his homosexuality and HIV status at a powerful Philadelphia law firm. But his secret is exposed when a colleague spots the illness's telltale lesions. Fired shortly afterwards, Beckett resolves to sue for discrimination, teaming up with Joe Miller, the only lawyer willing to help. In court, they face one of his ex-employer's top litigators, Belinda Conning. Starring Tom Hanks, Denzel Washington, Jason Robards, and directed by Jonathan Demme. Critics say Philadelphia indulges in some unfortunate cliches in its quest to impart a meaningful message, but its stellar cast and sensitive direction are more than enough to compensate.
Excuse me, Charles. With all due respect, this is preposterous. It doesn't make any sense.
Oh, you're right, Beckett. You don't have an attitude problem.
Take it easy, Walter.
If you had lost confidence in me, why'd you give me the Highline suit?
Andy, you nearly blew the entire case, for Christ's sakes. That alone is inexcusable. It would have been catastrophic for us.
Uh-huh.
So you were concealing your illness?
That's correct.
All right, explain this to me like I'm a 2-year-old, okay? Because there's an element to this thing I just cannot get through my thick head. Didn't you have an obligation to tell your employer you had this dreaded, deadly, infectious disease?
That's not the point. From the day they hired me to the day I was fired, I served my clients consistently, thoroughly, with absolute excellence. If they hadn't fired me, that's what I'd be doing today.
Castaway. Obsessively punctual FedEx executive Chuck Nolan is en route to an assignment in Malaysia when his plane crashes over the Pacific Ocean during a storm. The sole survivor of the flight, Chuck washes ashore on a deserted island. When his efforts to sail away and contact help fail, he learns how to survive on the island, where he remains for years, accompanied by only his handmade volleyball friend, Wilson. Will Chuck ever return to civilization and reunite with his loved ones? Starring Tom Hanks, Helen Hunt, Nick Searcy, and directed by Robert Zemeckis. Critics say flawed but fascinating. Castaway offers an intelligent script, some of Robert Zemeckis' most mature directing, and a showcase performance from Tom Hanks.
Wilson! Wilson!
Bridge of Spies. During the Cold War, the Soviet Union captures U.S. pilot Francis Gary Powers after shooting down his U-2 spy plane. Sentenced to 10 years in prison, Powers' only hope is New York lawyer James Donovan, recruited by a CIA operative to negotiate his release. Donovan boards a plane to Berlin, hoping to win the young man's freedom through a prisoner exchange. If all goes well, the Russians would get Rudolph Abel, the convicted spy who Donovan defended in court. Starring Tom Hanks, Mark Rylance, Alan Alda, and directed by Steven Spielberg. Critics say Bridge of Spies finds new life in Hollywood's classic Cold War espionage thriller formula, thanks to reliably outstanding work from Steven Spielberg and Tom Hanks.
This is not an equitable trade, sir.
But what you're saying is, if Powers has given up everything he knows, then Moscow would trade? Why wouldn't they? As for Abel, if he dies in an American prison, the next Russian operative who gets caught might think twice about keeping his mouth shut. And you never know. Abel might want to see the sky again and decide to trade Russian secrets for small American favors.
How can we know this? We little men, we just do our jobs.
Like Lieutenant Powers. He's just a pilot.
And finally, number 1, Toy Story. Woody, a good-hearted cowboy doll who belongs to a young boy named Andy, sees his position as Andy's favorite toy jeopardized when his parents buy him a Buzz Lightyear action figure. Even worse, the arrogant Buzz thinks he's a real spaceman on a mission to return to his home planet. When Andy's family moves to a new house, Woody and Buzz must escape the clutches of maladjusted neighbor Sid Phillips and reunite with their boy. Starring Tom Hanks, Tim Allen, Don Rickles, and directed by John Lasseter. Critics say entertaining as it is innovative, Toy Story reinvigorated animation while heralding the arrival of Pixar as a family-friendly force to be reckoned with.
Rebel base! Talk! I can see your will is strong. Well, we have ways of making you talk. Where are your rebel friends now? Your Pop-Tarts are ready! All right! Ah!
Well, my friends, that about does it for us. Be sure to stay tuned to the Rotten Tomatoes channel for more of the entertainment content you love. Until next time, I'm your host, Naz Perez, and we'll see you back here for more Top 10s on the Rotten Tomatoes Countdown.